Hi, you got Chris and Eli from Landlord Gurus, and this is a particularly off-the-cuff video for us because I was listening to a piece this morning on the radio about how all of Paris is freaking out because there are bed bugs in the cinema, on the subway. They think don't feel safe going anywhere because there are bed bugs. So there's some debate about how much one ought to be alarmed and how bad it actually is. They're even worried about the Summer Olympics being a year away and that bed bugs are a problem. So anyway, it seemed topical, that what does one do if you have bed bugs in your rental? So Chris, you have dealt with this. So you want to just tell us a little bit about what that experience was like?
Yeah, I was helping with a property owner who had a new tenant come in, and within a few weeks or a couple of weeks of them moving in, they said there were bed bugs. And, they were obviously freaked out and they were getting bites and whatever, and obviously wanted something to be done immediately. So we didn't know much about bed bugs. I didn't know much about bed bugs at the time. And so we had a pest control company come in and they said they could take care of it. And tenants moved out and they bombed the place with the pesticide spray that you do with fleas and whatever else. But yeah, so they did that. Apparently the bugs went away for a little while. The tenants moved back in, but then within a few days or a week, they were back. So having done more research at that point, and I think maybe even the tenants had heard of a service here in Seattle, and I'm sure they're everywhere else, but they have dog inspection. The dogs come in and they can sniff out bed bugs.
What are they doing though? Are they pinpointing where they are, where they're?
I guess so. I mean, I didn't actually go into the unit to see because there are bed bugs, but yeah, they bring them in and I think that they can pinpoint where they are and whether or not there are bed bugs. So in this case, they determined, yes, there are bed bugs in this unit. And so they recommended their heat treatment. And apparently that's the surefire way to get rid of bed bugs is heat treatment. I think we just looked this up. It's 118 degrees for 60 minutes or something like that, or 120 degrees, whatever it is. Yeah, it's just a heat treatment. And I don't think that they had to move anything out or they didn't have to bag anything. It just gets everything in the unit with the heat. So that's what we did. That worked, and haven't heard anything about it since. So I assume that's good news.
Yeah. I gather that it's also good practice, if not necessary, with the soft goods like bedding and clothing, to take it and wash it on max temperature and then dry it on max temperature and then bag things to isolate them until you know that you've got everything cleared up in the space. But they can get behind baseboards. Catching it early, to my understanding, is important. But Chris, who pays?
Well, that's a good question. In this case, the tenants had just moved in, a week or 2 or 3 weeks or whatever. And so it was unclear, like, did they bring them in or were they there from the tenant that moved out? Really couldn't tell. The canine pest control bedbug company, they couldn't really say as well. We did test other units in the building and nobody else got infested. So it was just strictly limited to that unit, which was good. And so at the end of the day, the owner ended up paying just because it was unclear. And obviously the tenant said, we did not bring them in.
Yeah.
We didn't have them before and now we do. So, in the other case, it was just simpler and just better to have the owner take care of it and deal with it.
Yeah, I've started using an addendum to the lease that the local rental housing association provides. And it provides for some rules where if anything's detected, tenants are required to tell landlords, these are the types of problems you want to know about.
Yeah.
They're also required to cooperate with measures to eradicate them. It also stipulates that they'll be liable for expenses of eradicating the bed bugs if it's determined that they brought them in. So because I have that form, in that case, I would try to get the service to tell me, just like a drain cleaner, did they cause this blockage in the pipe? Is this tenant related? And if it's nowhere else, then maybe that is an indicator that it came in with somebody that had been traveling or that type of thing. So I think it's good practice to use an addendum so you are covered.
I would say in any case, I would go ahead and get that service done as soon as possible, even if you haven't determined who's at fault or who's going to end up paying. It's probably best practice just to take care of it. But yeah, I mean, that's a sticky situation as far as identifying who is at fault in something like this. But better to take care of it than to let it, because as you said, it will get worse and it'll get worse faster.
Yeah, we can't have that happen. So, okay, well, we thought we'd just touch on that. And just the last comment is that the dogs it sounds cute, but from what I've heard, that really is the effective way to do it.
The dogs in the heat. So, yeah.
May as well have some fun, have a dog come out while you're at it. Anyway, thanks for listening. It's Chris and Eli from Landlord Gurus. And like and share and come back and see the other videos we've done and visit the site. Thanks for listening.
Bye.